the team in green is going to win this one. Spartans control the opening tip. They are in their home whites with the green trim. Colorado State in the green jerseys. Michigan State, the 5 seed. Colorado State, a 12 seed. First shot of the game is good, right off the mark by Jaylen Brown.
I love the rotation. Michigan State, right off the bat, they get into their offense and their defense, trying to make it hard for Colorado State to get it over.
And this is something that Colorado State was expecting. I mentioned Bargesser, their top scorer, out of the game. She was also their best ball handler, so certainly Michigan State aware of that. Offensive foul called against Colorado State. And look at Colorado State's head coach, Ryan Williams. He is Colorado State's all-time winningest coach. Second time he's guided this team to the NCAA tournament. He's had the offensive foul on Bragg on the other end, so that's why Michigan State has the ball.
Yeah, that was a tough call right there. Van Sluten, the one that went down, takes her first shot, not able to connect.
Carlson clears the rebound for the Rams. Carlson, wow, look at that speed, and draws the foul. Well, Carlson was not going to be denied.
Well, that's one way to beat the press, is to get the rebound and get up the floor.
That was on Rashonda Jones. Can we even slow this down?
Well, I love the fact that she just put her head down and went straight to the basket. Jones gets called for that first foul, but you got to give it. Carlson literally cleared it from one end, took a couple of dribbles, and got to the other end.
So B-Sizzle, that's what they call Brooke Carlson. She turned 3 shades of red yesterday when I asked her about it in the press conference. She's at the free throw line. That's a rare miss for her on the first one. She's a 79% free throw shooter, but she gets the Rams on the board here within the first 2 minutes of play.
Well, I could tell both teams, you got a little bit of the energy, right? The nerves that are going, and just you got to calm down and get set into that rhythm.
Sotelo. Nice pass, but it's picked off by the Rams. Carlson looks up the floor. Ronsick into the corner. This Michigan State team with a lot of length and excellent defensively as Jones gets the steal. It's one of their bigs handling the ball, Brown.
One of the things you'll look at for Colorado State, they're doing a really good job defensively. They're really making it hard for Michigan State to get closer to the basket. They like to score in the paint, and they're really clogging up that paint.
Well, they expected Colorado State to try to slow this game down. Coach Freilich said that she wants her team to have aggressive patience. Shot over the goal and then save right back to Bragg. So Colorado State will walk it up the floor again. They don't want a track meet with Michigan State.
They want to play their game, and that's what Coach said. He said, we don't want to play any differently than we've already had to play. So get into your pace. Obviously, we talked about the player missing, Bargesser. They got a little bit different flow.
Colorado State, they were tied for second in the Mountain West this year, went into the tournament as the number 3 seed. They ended up beating Air Force in the championship, had to survive a buzzer beater earlier in the tournament, so they feel like they're a team of destiny. Shot clock under 10. Carlson probing, stepped out of bounds and turns it over. I mentioned Robin Freilich, the head coach for Michigan State. All she's done in her first 3 seasons is take them to the NCAA tournament, and they've improved their seed each year. First year they were a 9 seed, last year a 7 seed, and this year a 5 seed.
Well, if you're looking at wanting the opportunity to come and play, you know, we had one of the parents come up behind us and just talking about the excitement of even just being in this environment.
Yeah, it's been interesting. We spent all day with the 4 teams here yesterday, and I did not pick up on nerves, Tamika. It's a very confident group of teams. And there's the first shot, good by Ronsick.
I love that shot. Ronsick sees the player flying out at her, takes one dribble. Kind of like that mid-range game sometimes seems like it's a lost art, but that is definitely a great drive.
Brown tries to draw the foul, doesn't get it. Ronsick, who made that last jumper, she's a 4-year player. In fact, that's something that both these teams have in common. They have several players that have stuck with the program all 4 years. Ronsick, heat check, good! She buries the 3 in front of the Michigan State bench. She's got 5 quick points, and Colorado State leads.
And exactly, mind you, they are coming off of winning a championship, so they know what it takes. Even when a player goes down, next player steps up, and we got a chance to talk to Coach Ryan yesterday, and he just talked about that enthusiasm and how they're going to play.
That is a great point, Tamika. Now, that is one of those intangibles that I don't think can be measured of what it does for you when you win a championship. Michigan State, on the other hand, they've been off since March 5th. They lost in the second round of the Big Ten tournament to Illinois. 3 is off the mark by Lemonade.
And that foul is going to be on Bragg. That's going to be her second foul. Just a little bit too aggressive on the boards. And one thing you will note, though, with Colorado State, he plays a lot of players, so you'll see some rotation.
Here's that foul again over the back. Colorado State, 7 unanswered points right now. Blair, aggressive take to the basket. They just cannot get the shots to go down. Michigan State's only made 1 basket. It was the first shot of the game by Brown.
Well, they're trying to get closer on those shots, and Colorado State is daring them to take the outside shot, but they want to get 1 step closer, and sometimes that 1 step is the difference in a make.
Colorado State made the Sweet 16 back in 1999. Becky Hammond was on the team then. And fouled shooting the 3. Jones is going to pick up her second, and Carlson will go to the line for 3 free throws.
Jones walks straight to the bench. She already knows she's coming out of the game. Not a smart play. She comes up, you see the shot, you hear the shot clock going down, and she just runs right into that right arm of Carlson.
So Carlson back on the free throw line. She's the only player that has shot a free throw for the Rams tonight. She was 1 of 2 on her first trip. Carlson in the Mountain West Championship game was the leading scorer for them, 17 points. She was 9 of 12 from the free throw line in the championship game. They're now trying to make 3 free throws in a row. So the Rams firing on all cylinders right now.
Colorado State looks really good, just how they're moving the ball, playing with each other. Defensively, just making it hard for Michigan State to get good looks.
And that'll stay on this end. Coach,
I love the patience for this.
6. Here their next round is presented by here the 6. Sotelo looks to force it inside, and it bounces off a player to Van Sluten. Wide open is Blair, and Blair gets the runner in the lane.
I love the patience for the Spartan team. They hadn't scored in the last 5 minutes, basically, so that was a good possession for them to get that look.
And the score allows them to get into that press, which they haven't been able to do. Froby, that 3 is off the mark. Chance for Michigan State to eat into the Rams' lead. Van Sluten going to work inside, draws the foul, and Grace Van Sluten would not be denied, powering up to the basket.
Lexi Deaton going to get called for that foul. Sure, thinks she has her hands straight up, but Van Sluten just so strong, being able to power it up. Take another look at it. Van Sluten, good job. Yeah, Deaton's hands down. When your arm's down, that's going to be an automatic foul. The player's powering up.
Van Sluten, the player we highlighted in the open, she is their big star. Second team All Big Ten this year, and also a McDonald's All-American. Out of bounds, and it will go back to Colorado State, but the Michigan State players are asking for an appeal. And we're gonna have that. So Robin Freilich will appeal this out of bounds call. If she loses the appeal, they will lose a timeout. If she wins it, it'll be their ball. State, he's in the stands with their 2 children. It's very much a family atmosphere at the Michigan State practices. The kids are out there and having a good time. Tarian will shoot the three. Offensive rebound and stick back by Sotelo.
And right off the bat, you see this press. Michigan State, they have almost everybody up in the front.
Carlson looks up the floor. Nice pass. And an easy layup by Deedon. Well, Colorado State, they're handling that pressure well so far. 2 turnovers. Michigan State still without a turnover. Michigan State having trouble scoring the basketball here early. Van Sluten denied again.
Michigan State or Colorado State, excuse me, just doing a great job of packing up the paint and making it hard.
Carlson got stuck, had to force it up. Oh, what a pass! Are you kidding me?
What a pass, what a finish by Sotelo.
Blair with just pinpoint accuracy on that pass. Colorado State leads the nation in fewest turnovers per game. They only turn it over an average of 10 times per game.
With the way that they play, you would think that they would have more turnovers, but they just do so good at finding the open player, moving the ball, getting to those spots.
Well, that's the one thing we noticed yesterday, just how fundamentally sound these two teams are. They very rarely beat themselves. Van Sluten, open, misses the shot. She still hasn't gotten her shot going yet. Van Sluten 0 for her first 3.
I feel like that look she was a little bit open, more open than she was used to, that she thought she would be.
Does that bother you as a shooter, sometimes being too open?
And I think she's so used to getting closer to the basket.
But Carlson has come to play tonight already with 6 points. Carlson averages 11 a game.
6 out of the 13 points for Colorado State, but I love her aggressiveness. One thing we know about Colorado State, and they talked about it in the press conference, they are not going to back down.
Yeah. They have had a reputation this year as being fearless. And Blair, speaking of fearless, takes it to the basket and is fouled. Lamina commits the foul. Let's go back to that awesome pass from Blair. Look at this.
Look at that, just right on the money too. And Sotelo, you got to have that look. You see that court vision and able to get it up. And here we'll take another look at this. Yeah, Blair goes in. Okay, shrug off.
Oh, Kennedy Blair, what a story she is. She originally signed with Coach Freilich at Bowling Green, and when Coach came to Michigan State, she decided to walk on. Began her career as a walk-on, fractured her foot in her freshman year at Michigan State, and then came back, earned a scholarship. Last year only played 5 total minutes, and this year is a starter and one of the best players on the team, 35 in white for Michigan State. I mean, that's a heck of a journey. I mean, that's crazy. 5 minutes last year, and this year she's a starter.
Well, when you watch her, and you could tell when we were talking to her, just her competitiveness, that competitive spirit, and from a coach's standpoint, to have somebody that you trust like that on the floor night in and night out, I mean, she is that person. Played all 30 games, has started all 30 games.
Free throw line right now, Emma Shoemate. Her dad, RJ, an assistant for the Miami of Ohio women's team. They're in the NCAA tournament. They play West Virginia tomorrow. She makes 1 of 2, and Michigan State has retaken the lead. They haven't led since the very first shot of the game. And a foul as the Rams were trying to get it across half court.
That's going to be on Sotelo. That's her first foul. I like the way the Spartans play. I love the press, though. They just want to slow it down, but sometimes you get so aggressive because you see the ball right there in your hand and you want to go for it. That's where you get in trouble.
Colorado State's had the answer every time Michigan State has led or gotten close. See if they can score on this possession. Carlson dumps it inside. That short jumper's off the back of the rim by Fife.
Good tip by Brown to secure the ball for Michigan State.
3 is on the way, short. Carlson grabs the rebound. Lamina trying to get around Brown. That pass was intended for Ronsick, but she stopped her cut. Blair on the other end misses the shot.
And you see Coach Williams on the side, slow it down. You don't want to get into a mad race with Michigan State.
Final minute here in the opening quarter in this opening game in Norman, Oklahoma. Carlson, Blair. What a play that was. A little backyard basketball.
Well, I think she was going to try to throw it in, and that was actually a smart basketball play.
Yeah, she had to throw it right at Carlson out of bounds, so it would be their ball. She was falling out of bounds. It's like something I used to do to my little brother. Van Sluten checking back in, Sotelo heading to the bench. So shot clock is off. This could be the final possession of the quarter if Michigan State holds it. Michigan State looking for that perfect shot. Brown hit a three to start the game. Has the ball, gives it up to Blair. Now 10 seconds and counting. Brown on her way to the basket, banks it in. So Brown scored the first basket of the game and the last basket.
To the town, but yeah, her face definitely turned 3 shades of red. She was embarrassed, but what an honor.
Yeah, pretty cool. First shot of the quarter is off the mark by Colorado State. Michigan State ended that first quarter on an 8-2 run, and that is what has put them up by 3 here. Again, Michigan State's been off since March 5th. Good look into Van Sluten. Van Sluten decides not to shoot. They go right back inside, and another shot missed, but the offensive rebound is tucked back in by Dykstra, getting her miss.
Michigan State really settled into their offense. I feel like this midway through the first quarter, they really just slowed things down and found their pace.
8 unanswered points right now. You can do the math. It was 13-10, Colorado State up at one point. Froby, player that has the highway sign, muscling her way to the basket and banks it in.
And those are going to be the first 2 points for Froby. So we'll look for Carlson. Carlson got going in that first quarter. They got to get Froby going too.
Yeah, Froby was guarded by Jones, who has 2 fouls. Brown on the way to the basket. Ronsick grabs the rebound. So a chance now for Colorado State to tie with a 3. And they've made 1 3-pointer so far. That was Ronsick. That's her number 30 in green inside. This Colorado State team, they've had 3 or more players in double figures in 25 of their games this season. So they can beat you a lot of ways. Wow, Carlson. Whoa! From way downtown.
Yeah, you can tell Carlson feeling it tonight. She's just locked in. She's heard the shot clock winding down. She just sets up one dribble, and it wasn't even on the 3-point line, about a step back.
And it's a contact inside as Van Sluten going at it in there.
Deaton's going to get caught for that foul. That one dribble pull up by Carlson. Great recognition. The shot clock winding down. Sometimes you just got to take the shot. It doesn't matter where it comes from, but it's got to go up.
Well, you know what she's doing? She's sizzling. B-sizzle is sizzling.
Sizzle with the sizzle. Definitely going to be rolling that tape.
There she is with a rebound. So we're tied at 18. First game here in Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma and Idaho come up tonight at 9 Eastern over on ESPN. Sooners, one of the top 16 seeds in the tournament, getting to host. And another foul.
It's going to be the second foul on Sotelo. Sometimes you just have to be smarter on where you're getting your foul from. Sotelo's going to take a seat on the bench, but all the way out here, she's trying to deny a post player and gets caught on that foul. Just not a smart one.
Just the first team foul. Both teams with just 1 foul here in the second quarter. Oh, nice move, Lamina. What a move. And Colorado State back in front. Van Sluten moves left, powers it up and in.
A double team comes over, but she stayed consistent, and I would say Michigan State, they need her to be consistent and steady. I wouldn't say as they go, she goes, they go, but I think she's a big piece of just how they play and flow in their offense.
That was her first made shot of the game. That ended a 7-0 run by Colorado State, and Carlson going to try to get him on another run. Carlson has been most of the offense so far tonight. First player in double digits in the game. She's already got 11 points. That's her average.
11 points, 3 rebounds.
Brown comes across the lane, gives it up to Terrian. Terrian's always a three-point threat. Entry pass. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Michigan State. Well, speaking of Terrian, I mentioned she's a three-point threat. Amy Terrian, that's her mom, Nancy. The reason she has 2 numbers on that jersey is Amy's twin sister is also on the team, but is out with an injury.
Amy and Anna.
Amy and Anna, yeah. Van Sluten banks it in. So Van Sluten's made her last 2 shots. And that is good news for the Spartans.
Now that's great news for the Spartans. And I love just how when she gets it, she's under control. She's patient. She knows the double team is coming, and she waits for it and still able to score.
Michigan State wanted to travel on Carlson, didn't get it. Lehman's shot is off the mark. Van Sluten could hang on to that rebound, and it'll be Colorado State's ball. Van Sluten very involved in USA basketball, as well as is Coach Robin Freilich. Coach Freilich is now going to be an assistant on the U18 national team this summer. Neil Ivey will be the head coach.
I think that's going to be a fun experience for all of them.
Van Sluten gets the steal. Van Sluten will lead the break and finish.
We did watch him do a little ball handling in practice yesterday, so.
Well, that is one of the things that makes this Michigan State so dangerous. All of their bigs can do what Van Sluten just did. Van Sluten listed at 6'3", Tamika. I don't know. I think she might be a little bigger than that.
She might be a little bit taller than 6'3". We didn't do the height test yesterday.
Yeah. Well, we did with you and Jenny Barancha. Guess we can talk about that in the next game.
Coach Freilich on the sideline just clapping. Great defensive possession for Michigan State.
Coach Freilich grew up 6 miles from the Michigan State campus, went to college at Davidson in North Carolina, but now has returned to her hometown to lead the Spartans, a dream job for her and her family.
I love when she was telling that story, the smile.
Good offensive board by Van Sluten. She'll go right to work with a beautiful pass to Blair, and that just rimmed out. And Blair apologizes for the miss. Froby spins in the lane. Got Blair defending her. And a 3-second call. We'll give it back to Michigan State.
Well, Van Sluten is starting to take over. First quarter, not so good. Second quarter, she's come back in so many different ways. Why you said Carlson is the spark plug, but she's getting the team involved and engaged, finding those open players. And people are knocking down those shots.
Yeah, when Michigan State is missing, it is very difficult for them because they can't put that pressure on the Rams. A made basket always results in full court pressure by Michigan State. The Rams, I told you, they only turn it over 10 times a game. They've had 8 turnovers in this half so far. Lehman up. Good board by Van Sluten. That's her 7th rebound already.
I think for right now, what they need, Michigan State, yes, I was going to say they need to go to Van Sluten, and she answers the call.
Now that one, her hands are so strong, Tamika. She really gripped that ball. She wasn't going to get it knocked out of her hands.
I'd have to say, one of the things when we had the opportunity to talk to Van Sluten, she said over the course of the last 4 years, just for her being able to get stronger, not just physically, but even more so mentally, and you see that.
Blair draws the basket on the way, or draws the foul on the way to the basket. That foul is on
going to be on
Deedon. Third foul on Deedon already. And that is one thing Colorado State does not want to have happen, is have players get in foul trouble again. They're without their leading scorer this year, Lexi Bargesser, who suffered a season-ending injury in the Mountain West semifinals. Blair on the free throw line now. Blair, second team All Big Ten this year. There's Lexi Bargesser, the leading scorer for the Rams. What a job this team did to win that championship with her out after that semifinal injury.
I talked to Coach about it, and he said, you know, you're at that point, you're going, your energy, the momentum that you have, you just continue to play. And I think that's really what this team was able to do, is just they had the adrenaline going.
In and out three, and then a foul committed. And it looks like the foul's going to go against Michigan State. It'll be out of bounds. It wasn't shooting the three-point shooter. The foul's going to be on Woodard. So it'll just be out of bounds. And Chuck Gonzalez over the scores table confirming who the foul is called on. Woodard has come into the game here in the second quarter.
Now, that was a tough play, too. Carlson takes the shot, and then somehow Woodard gets over there and basically pushes her.
Lehman are looking to get it in. Lobs it out to Carlson. Under a minute to play in the half. Then we'll be sending you to Degree in the studio at halftime. Did she touch it? No. It'll be Michigan State's ball.
Well, that's interesting. I looked up, you looked down for a second, and they took the shot, and all 5 players ran back to make sure that there wasn't a fast break attempt. They could have actually gotten the offensive rebound.
They let it go, you're right. Well, Michigan State can hold it for one if they choose. Shot clock is off here to end the half. Blair brings it up for the Spartans. This first half has had 5 lead changes. A 5-12 matchup. And we have a foul inside on Van Sluten, so Colorado State will get the ball back, and that is the second foul on Grace Van Sluten.
That's a tough call right there, too. 8 seconds left in the half, before the half. And you see, she tried to set that screen, but she rolled into the screener. Yes, got to let the defense go by.
Rams trying to score to end the half. Carlson races ahead of everyone, misses the shot. And Blair launches it at the buzzer. What a first half. The number 12 seed, Colorado State, out of the Mountain. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country, and they really shut Michigan State down. Michigan State's a team that averages over 80 points a game.
Well, they're forcing Michigan State to do things maybe a little bit uncharacteristic, and that has played very well. Maddie
Bragg with the baseline jumper. She's the player that nailed the buzzer beater in the conference tournament quarterfinals to keep Colorado State alive in the Mountain West tournament.
Well, we haven't seen much of Bragg because she's been in foul trouble in that first half, and nice pass. Blair always moving around, and her teammates always trying to find her.
Again, when Michigan State can score, they've had some success at the full court pressure, but Colorado State beats it quickly that time. Carlson is fast. Here's Froby. Froby and one. Foul will be on Jones, and that will be her third.
A third foul on Jones, just a step too late, and love the fact she's trying to get in and get her feet set, but when you have 2 fouls and you see a player coming in like that, you almost have to fake a little bit and get out of the way just so that you can stay in the game.
Actually, Tamika, they have changed that. Now it's not on Jones. The foul's on 35 Blair, so that's a break for the Spartans that she didn't get her third foul.
Definitely is.
Roby, though, completes the 3-point play. So Colorado State Still out in front, Sotelo working in her way to the basket and scores.
Like that up and under, nice little step through.
So Michigan State now time to set up the press. Lamina with Sotelo on her. Jones comes over to double team, disrupts, but it goes out of bounds. And Jones is saying that she didn't touch it, and we're going to have another appeal. So that was called out on Jones. Jones immediately protested. They average 8 threes per game. They have only made 1 tonight. Sotelo trying to change that. And it goes over the backboard and will be Rams basketball. Good sportsmanship there. Brown helping Bragg up off the floor.
Well, you mentioned just the three-point shooting, and now 1 for 15. The Spartans are not able to connect, but I think part of it is Colorado State is basically giving them the three-point shot, but they're trying to get the ball into the paint, which is where their strong suit is.
Carlson, who was so good in the first half, number 2 in green. Lamina needs to get out of the lane. Froby throws it up, gets her miss somehow among 2 much taller players, but then misses the follow. Brown. And Brown fouled on the way to the basket by Froby.
Yeah, Froby not able to get her feet set. Great drive by Jaylen Brown.
First foul on Froby. Spartans ball out of bounds. In Michigan State, the 5 seed. Van Sluten waited a second and then decided to take it to the bucket and finish her first basket here in the third quarter. She had 8 of her 9 points in the second quarter.
Well, I would have to say that's probably one of the easier shots that she's had tonight.
Carlson will take it the length of the floor, misses the layup, got a rebound, and then was fouled.
Sotelo.
Yeah, Sotelo over the back. And that is her third foul. Sotelo, 6'3" sophomore from Spain.
Here's the foul right here. She just comes over her back. It's interesting, though. You look at Carlson, even on that initial drive, she takes it right at Van Sluten.
Yeah.
She was trying to get that foul call or the make, allowed her to get the offensive rebound.
Carlson has been everything for this Colorado State team tonight. They're without their best player. So Carlson's really stepped in and has led this team so far. But Michigan State can go back out in front with a score here. Brown made the first shot of the game and the last shot of the half. Gives it up. Jones misses. It's just been a tough shooting night for Michigan State.
Well, Jones drives in, and even when on that drive, there were 3 Colorado State players in the paint waiting for her. So you almost look at pull it out, kind of going back. How do you get the ball back in the paint, but you got to space the floor?
Shot clock under 10. Froby defended by Jones, who has 2 fouls. Blair comes over. And foul committed against Blair, and that'll be her second. So a lot of fouls here quickly on Michigan State.
That's a great drive, but look at this drive below. Jones drives in, basically 3 players in front of her, and then the 4th player comes over. So you know that when you drive from a Michigan State side, Colorado State, they are camping out in the paint, trying to make it hard for them, and they making them have to kick the ball out.
Froby at the line, a huge improvement in free throw shooting this year. In the first half of the season, she only shot 49%, and her season average is up to 65% now. Froby 2 for 3 from the line tonight. Colorado State up 2. Carlson was the first player in double figures in this game, 11.6 rebounds and an assist. So a triple-double today with Olivia Miles from TCU. Maybe we'll see another one in this game. Van Sluten's.
That was fun to watch, too, and that's going to be another foul on Carlson.
Second foul on Carlson. They're making her third, yeah. It's been a big first day of first-round games here in March Madness. Mentioned that Olivia Miles triple-double. That was for TCU, obviously. Had some other big-time individual performances today, too. Carlson, nice pass. Bragg. Same shot she made to start the half.
Colorado State just so good with Carlson out there running the point, and she had some plays where she picked apart. And Brown, that's a drive. Michigan State really looks out of rhythm right now, out of sync.
Layman with a rejection. Here's a couple of those other notable performances today. Toby Fournier for Duke almost had a double-double. LSU, that's back to their non-conference days when they were scoring in the hundreds to start the season. Van Sluten buries the jumper for the Spartans.
Van Sluten always stepped up at the right time, and it's almost like you feel that sigh of relief when the ball goes in her hand and she makes a good play and finishes with the basket.
She's got 13 points, 8 rebounds. Froby throws it up off the glass and in. 10 points for Froby. Colorado State up 4. Dykstra short on the 3. Good. Another thing Colorado State does extremely well is block out.
Well, we always learn defense and rebounding win championship. And we know Coach Williams is a strong believer in that, and also following Coach Summit and some of the things that she's done in the past.
Colorado State out rebounding Michigan State 26-19 right now. And there's a Sparty rebound. Shoemate into Van Sluten. It's exactly what you thought they should do, is get it into her as much as possible. Brown is open for the 3.
Well, you see how it opened up the floor. As soon as the ball went into Van Sluten, she gets double teamed. She kicks it back out, you get a wide open shot. And I think Michigan State, they have too many players that are trying to create shots. The easiest shot is Van Sluten, having the ball in Van Sluten's hand and let her create.
Layman in the lane, short jumper. They trade a 3 for a 2. Brown has got both Michigan State 3s in this game. Jones drives and draws the foul. Now Layman defending her.
Quicker pace, and you see a lot of buckets.
Yeah, those are two of the fastest paced teams in the country. Jones misses the first free throw. Sooner fans anxiously awaiting seeing their Sooners in the nightcap. Jones makes 1 of 2. And Michigan State within 2 right now. Colorado State has stayed in front here in the third quarter. They had the lead at the half. These 5-12 matchups sometimes can be so good, and this one is to this point. Carlson weaves her way down to the basket and is fouled by Blair.
Interesting. Carlson single-handedly weaves her way all the way down and goes right in. But I said this before in a play earlier, Carlson, you saw her just go right at Van Sluten. She didn't finish that play, but this time she gets her way to the free throw line.
Third foul on Blair, and Carlson at the free throw line. Such a tough competitor as Carlson. Her mother, Mary, a 2-time cancer survivor, and it's where Brooke says she gets her toughness from, seeing what her mom went through and overcame. And Carlson has been the big player tonight for the Rams. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
She's made it hard all around the basket, and great pass right there. Wow, Van Sluten not able to finish. Almost could have been a foul.
Brown misses the 3, gets her miss. Drives in, gets the 2. A nice play by Brown. Good awareness to follow that shot. Rams break the press. Carlson into Bragg. Bragg spins to her right gets the bucket.
That was the patience of Colorado State. Run the offense to a T, and they got what they were looking for.
Brown thought about the three. Therrien into Van Sluten. Van Sluten guarded by Bragg. She blocked her shot last time she shot. Blair goes to the basket and is fouled.
And Michigan State, they're struggling on the free throw line. 5 for 10.
It's a team that averages 72% from the free throw line. Blair usually 75%. Rams break the press. Roncic gives it back to Carlson. She'll set up the offense. And this game has been played at Colorado State's pace. They want a lower scoring game. Oh, Froby saved it back in bounds, but it goes right to Michigan State. And then Blair loses it to Carlson. Ahead to Froby. Layup is good.
And you know what? You have these plays sometimes and things happen. And you don't know how they happen, but Colorado State just doing a great job.
A good drive by Blair. A little frustration in that drive.
Yeah, definitely.
And another foul on Lamina. And that's her first player, their fourth foul.
Yeah. Take another look at this. Almost goes out of bounds. She tried to save it. Bounce pass, turnover into a made for Colorado State.
That's one time when the coach isn't mad that you didn't get back on defense. Blair at the line. Gets that one to roll in. Again, Blair, player we talked about earlier tonight, former walk-on. Now one of the top scorers on this team, second team All Big Ten this year, and gets both free throws.
Well, you can tell when you watch her on the floor, she's definitely an extension of Coach Freilich, and you hear her talking, you see her pointing, she directs traffic. One of those players, strong-willed, competitive, and every sense of the word.
Well, both these teams so well coached. You can see a lot of these players going into coaching. Carlson's shot is blocked by Blair. Nice D by Blair. Brown sizing up Froby. Now we'll bring it back out. Therrien always ready to shoot the three.
Much different look with Van Sluten not in the game.
Sotelo still battling, jump ball, and it will stay on this end.
Take another look at the defense. Defense leads the offense. Great block by Blair. See the fast break going down. And yeah, that was a great block. She timed it in the air. Blair had a couple of inches on Carlson, so a good opportunity to get that first block for the team.
Shot clock down to 4. Blair will put up the three. Hand in her face and buries it. What a shot by Blair. She's the first player other than Brown to make a three tonight for the Spartans, and they have battled back to tie here at the end of the third quarter.
Well, we knew it was going to be a good game and super competitive. Been fun to watch, and yet another block by Blair.
Shot clock continues to roll. Carlson trying to get around Therrien, weaves her way to the basket. Missed the shot. Blair holding up one finger. They can hold on for one final shot here to end the third quarter. Dykstra stops. Shot clock, game clock, under 5 now. Blair, step back shot, misses it. Michigan State, an upset today.
Bragg has been so efficient in a minute. There's 8 points, 4 for 5. And having to do the hard job, which is to guard that young lady, Van Sluten. And Van Sluten has had a heck of a night right now, 15 points and 8 rebounds.
Sotelo went for the steal. Froby gets by her. They've got numbers now. And Sotelo falls back on D. Froby weaving her way into the paint and is blocked by Blair. Blair has gotten 3 block shots here in the second half.
Blair is definitely one of those competitors, and you see every single time she has one, and what a pass! Nice, knocked out Jaylen Brown, three-pointer on the side.
3 threes for Brown and Michigan State. Back in front for the first time since the second quarter, midway through the second quarter. Again, Michigan State's been off since March 5th. Froby short on the 3. Colorado State came into this game on a 9-game win streak. Let's go back to the Blair block, Tamika.
Well, Froby trying to make her way down low, and honestly, there's nowhere to go because Blair is right there, but Blair comes down. Defense leads to offense. And Blair making the right decision, find Jaylen Brown for that 3.
Brown's got 3 of the 4 Michigan State threes. Carlson with a clean steal. And will go down. It is blocked out of bounds. What a block.
Emma Shoemate came out of nowhere. And I think Carlson thought she had a wide open layup. And so when she goes up, but Shoemate, great job not fouling.
Well, Shoemate is 6'1", Carlson is 5'8". And she timed it perfectly. Again, Shoemate's dad will be coaching Miami of Ohio tomorrow against West Virginia. He's one of the assistants on that staff. Carlson, not afraid, gets the bucket.
I just feel like Carlson always makes the right plays at the right time. And one thing to learn about this young lady, and I would say the same for number 35, Blair, on the white team on Michigan State, is no matter how many shots you make, no matter how many mistakes you might have, continue to push, continue to drive, and both of them making great plays for their team.
Yeah, to your point, Blair from Michigan State, 8 of her 14 points were scored in the third quarter. Did not have a good first half. Van Sluten gets the steal. Will go down against Murphy. Murphy lets her go for the layup. And Van Sluten now with 17 points and 8 rebounds.
I was so used to seeing Van Sluten down low. Her guard wasn't even up at the top. She made that play happen.
Carlson misses but draws the foul. Foul will be on Blair. Blair's 4th. This is that steal by Van Sluten.
And what a great play. She just timed that right. Good finish on the other end.
So Blair is leading the game right now with 4 fouls. Jones replaced her. Carlson is at the free throw line now.
Well, Blair has been such an important piece for this Michigan State team, and it's really her energy and how she directs. We talked about this earlier. She is an extension of Coach Freilich on the floor. But you can't afford to have her out of the game, especially down the stretch and the way that this game is going.
Blair's also got a season-high 3 blocks. Carlson makes 1 of 2. Carlson has been to the free throw line more than any other Colorado State player tonight. She's 7 of 9 overall. Michigan State up by 2 here in the final quarter. First round in Norman. And Sotelo draws the foul and will go to the line.
That's going to be on Ronsick. That's only her first foul.
We have not had a quarter in this game where either team went to the bonus. So there have not been a lot of fouls in this game. Sotelo will be on the free throw line, a 6'3" sophomore from Spain. She's an applied engineer science major, carries almost a 3.8 GPA. And is a gold medalist for Spain last summer with their national team. Her parents were Olympians in track.
What I love about Sotelo, though, is that she's one of those all-around players. When you look at the stat sheet, she's got blocks, she's got steals, she's got makes.
There's Sotelo again. Misses the shot, gets her own rebound, and is tied up by Bragg. And Sotelo rolls over, take a little breather.
Well, this has been it hasn't been a physical game. It's just been a well-fought game, I feel like, for both teams. And for being able to take that breather, but she goes up. And great job. Colorado State just surrounds her.
Yeah, Michigan State's had a tough time scoring tonight. Van Sluten. That goes out of bounds. It's called off of Colorado State. So break there for the Spartans. Van Sluten a rebound away from a double-double. Here's what Michigan State has done in the second half. They're shooting better. To make any reason why?
Well, I think really it starts with Van Sluten, and when you get the ball down low and make plays happen, but also defensively. They've done a better job defensively and making the right plays.
Oh, what a rebound. Shoemate gets the rebound and one, and Michigan State has its largest lead.
I love the attack mentality and every single player now buying in, but you see Brown takes the shot, and out of nowhere, nobody boxes out. And here she comes in. Shoemate just able to get her hands. Good job getting herself to the free throw line.
Shoemate 1 for 2 tonight. Misses that free throw, and Froby clears the rebound for the Rams. Largest lead of the night for Michigan State. They honestly trailed most of this game. Colorado State, a 12 seed out of the Mountain West. 3 on the way, off the mark by Carlson. Another chance for the Spartans.
Spartans have used all of their weapons, and they've done a really good job of doing just that. Jaylen Brown trying to take the drive.
Rebound by Bragg. Again, Colorado State doing all this without their leading scorer for the season. Vargasser was injured in the Mountain West tournament in the semis. They were still able to win the title without her against Air Force. And a kick. And there's Vargasser on the bench. Really the heart and soul of this team. 15.6 rebounds and 3 assists this season. Transferred in from Indiana.
Newcomer of the year, and you know they miss her, but it has been very impressive to see other players step up, and that's one thing you always learn is, and Coach said this, next man up mentality, next woman up, and being ready when your number's called. And even when we were talking about this game, he said it's not about I need one player to do a whole bunch of things. I need everybody to step up and do a little more.
Suddenly the Rams getting cold shooting right now. Michigan State trying to set up their half-court offense. Got the clear out right now for Sotelo. A good D by Roncic. Wow.
Great D by Roncic and Sotelo. You know, I think with Michigan State, sometimes they get into those ruts of that one-on-one mentality.
And a timeout, Colorado State. Head coach Ryan Williams went on a little jog there. He's getting his...
Those are the phenomenal sophomores for this Colorado State team. And when you talk about just players that have stepped up big time, those are those two for this team.
They had gone over 3 minutes without scoring, and Van Sluten with a miss, and Jones, huge offensive rebound. Jones will penetrate, off the glass, misses. Bragg gets the rebound. And Colorado State with a player down. Lamina is down under the basket. Lamina, player from Latvia, a 4-year player for Colorado State, and gets help to her feet. So when Jones went on the drive, Lamina got knocked off of her feet. It's Jones driving. Yeah, no foul on that play. Their legs just got tangled up. So Lamina is going to come out for a second. Gets a nice hug from Coach Williams.
And you can tell she's still in pain even as she walks to the bench.
Well, that is one thing about all 4 teams here in Norman this week. Players absolutely love their coaches. You hear a lot of credit given to head coaches and assistant coaches from these players on the 4 teams in Norman. We'll see Idaho and Oklahoma coming up at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Rams trailing by 3 with the ball. Entry pass, too strong, turnover. Turnover number 12 on Colorado State.
Even with the ups and downs that Colorado State has had tonight, they have 9 turnovers in the first half.
Blair. Nice pass. Sotelo with a reverse layup. 6th assist for Blair, and that was beautiful.
Court vision is one of the things that you always see, and great job to be able to finish. On the other end, Murphy not able to finish on that backdoor cut.
A 5-point Michigan State lead with under 3 to play. Michigan State has really turned it on here in the second half. Outscored them 33 to 26 here in the second half, and a turnover on the Spartans.
Well, I feel like what Michigan State had done in the second half is they've really slowed down on their offensive end and have spaced the floor, moved the ball a lot better. In the first half, felt like they were trying to force it down low, and when they weren't getting what they were looking for, they just started trying to do one-on-one basketball. But second half, they've settled down, they've found their open players, and you look at the scoreboard.
Really improved in the second chance points as well, Michigan State has. That's 10 to 2. Carlson throws it up and in. It's been that kind of night. Everything Carlson does seems to work out. Carlson now with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Blair backs in, gets her own rebound, and on the second chance, sticks it in.
That's what you call muscle ball right there. Looking to score.
In Colorado State with 2 timeouts remaining. Looking to score here. Trailing by 5.
Well, there's plenty of time left for this team, and the way that Colorado State plays, that's a great drive. Carlson continues to attack the basket, give her 23 points.
Michigan State up 3, just over a minute to play. Almost in.
Yes, either go to Blair or you're going to Van Sluten, and Blair muscles it in again.
Big bucket